This expandable Hoberman sphere wasn't designed by the late innovator Buckminster Fuller, but it was very much inspired by the geodesic dome he pioneered. And you never know where one of these domes will show up, as Dean Reynolds now demonstrates.
If ever there was an example of truth in advertising, it's the truly pleasant village of Pleasantville, New York. Yet nestled amidst the tidy Tudors and quaint colonials, you'll find this, the proverbial round peg in a four-square suburb.
You're happy inside?
Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic.
Our names are in the concrete. We're not moving.
For Bruce and Dina Nelkin, this is Dome Sweet Dome, a pair of geodesic domes, to be precise, built of styrofoam and steel inside a concrete shell.
They're the most energy-efficient structure known to man. They're also hurricane-proof, earthquake-proof, tornado-proof, and with the construction we did, fireproof on the exterior.
You might think you're looking at the home of tomorrow, but the dome as a home has actually been around for 50 years. The brainchild of a 20th century genius whose imagination carried him years ahead to things only he, our Buckminster Fuller, could imagine.
Nature's formulation is just, to me, absolutely unbelievably magnificent.
I'm not trying to imitate nature, I'm trying to find the principles she's using.
Who or what was he?
I have to answer in his words, which will only scare you. He was a comprehensive, anticipatory design scientist.
But his daughter, Allegra Fuller Snyder, prefers another description for the man universally known as Bucky.
Daddy was an incredible teacher, and I happen to be privileged to be one of his students.
Each one of those lines is staying the same. The lines are not changing, so what is changing here is the angles.
Today, his daughter is one of the guardians of Fuller's multifaceted legacy, which is now on display at Chicago's Museum of Contemporary Art. It even includes Bucky's take on Goldilocks and the Three Bears, a bedside story he employed to explain Einstein's theory of relativity to a child.
You got Einstein at 4.5?
I didn't know I was getting Einstein, but I did.
Indeed, Bucky's mind seemed to move at the speed of light. Haunted by the early death of his first child, Fuller worked feverishly until his own death in 1983 to make the world a better place, one invention at a time. Take his 1933 Dymaxion car, Dymaxion being shorthand for dynamic and maximum. 30 miles to the gallon, seating for 11 at speeds up to 120 miles an hour. But in an era of dime-a-gallon gas, it was a solution in search of a problem. Like the car, Fuller's proposals for a mass-produced Dymaxion house never caught on either.
He probably aspired to be a Henry Ford of shelter.
But Fuller's grandson, Jamie Snyder, says the man was undaunted.
You could say, on the heels of the failure at this particular time, as soon as this project was over, he got right to work studying his geometry and digging into this research and had the breakthrough in inventing the geodesic dome.
Hands down, the geodesic dome was Bucky's greatest legacy. Following nature's own blueprint, domes can shelter enormous spaces using minimal materials. Although this giant dome over New York City was never built, today our landscape is dotted with about 300,000 more modest versions, housing everything from botanical gardens to revolving restaurants, even Arctic shelters for military radar. But most of all, Bucky wanted his domes to house us. He never strayed far from the problem of low-cost housing.
The thinking of the total world, thinking of the world as an integrated system, thinking about our interconnection, thinking about shelter, not a local problem, but how do we house 1.5 billion people that don't have proper shelter?
From his eco-friendly houses to his fuel-efficient cars, it seems as if Bucky's 20th century proposals and our 21st century problems may have finally achieved a kind of synergy, something he'd like since he invented the word synergy too. And while the bubble may have burst for some of Fuller's ideas, back in Pleasantville, New York...
Do you think this is the future or the past?
I think it's the past that was forgotten that needs to be the future in order to have a sustainable future for them.
Bucky loved to point to the image of the Earth as seen from space. To him, it was a reminder that here, under the great big dome of the sky, we are all in this together.
People say to me, I wonder what it'd be like to be on a spaceship. And I say to you, you don't really realize what you're doing. Because everybody is an astronaut. You all live aboard a beautiful little spaceship called Earth.